who has allowed me to deliver my views at this well-known platform. Thank you once again. PPTs are visible?
And audible. Sir, you are audible and visible too.
Okay. So for this talk, we have started a topic which is very well known, parametric optimization. Parametric optimization, you will see, it is required in each and every research aspects. Parametric optimization is not a field-oriented theme. Parametric optimization is a general theme, and we can apply this concept of parametric optimization everywhere. Whether we are working in the field of mechanical engineering, whether we are working in the field of production industrial, or as well as in other management or other related things. Everywhere we can apply this. A parametric optimization is what? We will discuss it theme. As a research perspective, I will consider here the concept of parametric optimization and the algorithms which I will use here, that is the fuzzy set theory. There are different algorithms for the parametric optimization. But here in this lecture, I will use the fuzzy set theory. And after finalizing the concept of parametric optimization, I will go with a numerical illustration so that you can easily understand how we can analyze the things and how we can analyze the developed model. I hope you will enjoy this lecture and also will apply the theme and concept of this lecture in your research work also. As an insight, we will discuss here what is optimization, what is the role of decision theory, why fuzzy thinking is required, and what is fuzzy logic, and what is the difference in crisp set and fuzzy set, degree of membership, and the triangular fuzzy numbers concept. And then I will discuss an algorithm, Chang extent analysis based fuzzy analytical hierarchical process. And then I will discuss a case example with you so that you can easily understand how we are going to analyze it. Generally, what is optimization? We all know. Mostly we are working in the field of optimization. For each and everything we are going to optimize. But why? What is the optimization? Optimization is not a different unique platform. Optimization is only a concept which can be applied everywhere. We have different types of measures, different types of parameters, different type of factors, different type of you can say the variables. Optimization is the mathematical discipline. It is not a branch-oriented discipline. We cannot say it is a mechanical-oriented field. We can't say it is electronics-oriented field. It is a mathematical discipline which is concerned with the finding of maxima and minima concept. Maximize the function, minimize the function under the constraints or without the constraint. But in generally, if we are going for the optimization, then constraints are required. But as you all know, I also know, optimization may be the constraint optimization, it may be the unconstrained optimization. Both type of optimization we will use, but in general, if we are going to analyze any real practical problem, then optimization is better when we are doing it under the constraints. Because things can be minimized by taking the boundaries for a particular system. In this way, optimization we can do. The other side, it is a branch of operations research. Operations research is a very important field in the industrial engineering as a research perspective, as well as in the production also, in managerial aspects also. Operation research is a very generalized thing. All of you know about the operation research, like we have used the linear programming, we have used the integer programming, ball programming, and other things. All are the algorithms by taking of the use of this and with the application of such type of algorithms, we will go to optimize our system. We will go to optimize our model. Generally, we can say it is based on the decision parameters. Means what we want to do. General optimization is concerned with the structuring, solving, planning, selection related problems which have the multiple parameters. So first point, parametric optimization means optimization is a very general term. We can apply it anywhere. Okay, it is a schematic diagram in which we will see how it will work and how we will go to analyze a particular problem. Any real world problem which we are facing at the industrial level or at the academia level, we can consider, and then we will go for the development of mathematical model. A mathematical model development that may be in the form of the linear, that may be in form of the non, that may be in terms of the simple symbolic mathematical model, anything. And then we will consider the assumptions, abstraction, different data simplification. After that, we will go for the analysis of this model in order to find out the solution of that model. But how? By using the optimization algorithm. The use of optimization algorithm is in between mathematical model and the analysis. When we will analyze the mathematical model, then definitely we will find out some fruitful solution for that considered model. After that, the implementation of that solution model to the real world problem. It is a very basic difference. A solution which is based on directly mathematical model, it may be the solution for the real world problem or real practical problem. It may not be the solution for real problem. It is required. It is required to simplify your solution or your model output in terms of the real problem. Because problem arises at the ground level, and we are analyzing the model as a hypothetical way. In this way, mathematical model or any other model, which is any prototype model, which is going to analyze, is not giving you the certainty as an output or as a solution for that real world problem. Then what we will do? We will simplify the solution model. How we will simplify it, I will explain you in terms of the real world problem. Means interpretation. Because the output of a model in terms of the solution is required to interpret how we will interpret that solution to the real world problem, so that each and every person can understand the meaning of that. Because you being as a mathematician, you being as an engineer, you can understand, but our customer, our direct market oriented persons cannot analyze, cannot interpret your final solution. This is the solution to the real world problem which makes sense and change the model different in terms of the real world problem. Where we can use it? In engineering, in hospital, in education, in real life, in military operations, or everywhere. Where planning, decision, selection is required, we can use the optimization. It's very simple. We can use optimization anywhere. Mathematical model in optimization. I am going through fast to this because it is not so new method, but I will focus more when I will apply the fuzzy set theory. It is a general form. Each and every person knows because it is the part of the 12th level standard. Means minimize or maximize the function on the basis of the objective of your function in order to obtain your goal. Because goal is certain, goal is unique, and to achieve the goal, it is required to know the different type of objective. It is required to structure the different type of objectives that may be subjected to the different type of functional constraints, like G1, G2, G3. There may be different type of constraints. Under the set of constraints, we can analyze the objective model. In other words, we can say the goal is what our goal is to find out the decision variables. Means the constraints in order to find out the objectives are required to know. Only then we can achieve the minimum or maximum objective function value. Otherwise, no. What do we optimize? A real function we will optimize. That will depend on the constraint, that may not depend on the constraints. Unconstrained optimization and constraint optimization. Each and every person knows what is it. It is very simple. Here the minimum function means without any boundary condition. Here is the boundary condition of this constraint. Under this is the mathematical representation of the models. But how we will apply this concept in a real problem, where we are talking about the parametric optimization? That is the main thing. But the concept is same. Now I am switching from optimization to parametric optimization. What is the meaning of parameter? It can be divided into two. It can be divided into two: multi-objective or multi-attribute. Multi-object and multi-attribute. In multi-object, you will see it is a study-based decision problems in which the decision space is continuous. Means we will focus only on this term, continuous. If our space is continuous, like the mathematical programming problem in which we analyze the multiple objective function, then we will consider the case of multi-objective problems. Means in general, we cannot say we are going for the parametric optimization. It will depend on the type of your model. It will depend on the type of your problem. It's which type of problem you are facing and which type of model you are going to analyze. On that base, we will decide whether we are going for the multi-objective or whether we are going for the multi-attribute. Type of optimization we are multi-objective and multi-attribute. Multi-attribute is very general and it is used.
అయితే బీటీపీ టైం టేబుల్స్ మాట్లాడారు అదే అయితే వాళ్ళు మళ్ళీ ఇప్పుడు రేపటి నుంచి కొత్త
I think switch microphone is on. Please switch off your microphone. Okay. The multi-attributes based method. Multi-attributes based method is widely used in the engineering applications. Multi-objective is also used, but multi-attribute is widely used in the engineering applications. Because in this, we will consider the different type of notions of alternatives and different types of parameters, different type of factors and goals, etc. It means at what platform we will use the objective, multi-objective. We will also use it in the engineering application multi-objective, but in 70% cases, we will use the multi-attribute based parametric optimization. So we will focus here on multi-attribute based parametric optimization. I am coming towards narrow point. That optimization, then parametric optimization, then which type of parametric optimization? Multi-attribute based we will discuss here. This is the multi-factor evaluation problem. Any type of problems means any type of indicators. Indicators are what? Indicators are the different type of subcomponents of your problem. Means if you have divided your problem into 3 types of indicators, means 3 types of notions. And each notion have different types of sub-notions. In this way, you can analyze here how many indicators for a single problem, and then we will combine it. You will see here it is the first level, then first composite index, then second, then third, and after that we will find out the combined summary of all indicators in order to find out the value of objective, or you can say the goal for the considered program. This is the meaning of it. This is the formula to calculate the weight matrix. I will explain you it by using the concept of fuzzy set theory. But this concept of indicator is very, very important because it is very difficult to consider each and every factor at the same level. It is not easy task, but it can be easy if we will consider the different type of platform, divided platform for a considered program. How we will consider? I will explain you as a mathematical way. Right now, I am going through a concept only. After that, I will show you the one numerical example for the same. In decision science, you know, describe, formulate, understand, analyze, and conclude is not a big thing. Approaches means which type of approach you are trying for your research. It may be the qualitative approach, it may be the quantitative approach. Both type of approaches we can use. Anybody can tell me which approach is mostly used and why? Any idea about qualitative and quantitative approach as a research perspective? No? Anyone? Okay. I'm telling you, qualitative approach is generally used when we are going to develop any model from a scratch. If we are going to develop any model from a scratch, then we will go for the qualitative approach. For example, if we are going to launch a particular product into the market, and that product has no existing specifications in the previous existing products in the marketplace, then qualitative approach is better because that have the basic platform, that will have the basic functions of that product. So there will be the surety for the success of product in the marketplace. If we are going to change in the existing product, then quantitative approach is best. In the same fashion, if we are going for our research problem and we have some available data, then we should apply quantitative approach. And on other corner, if we are going to formulate our research problem from the ground, from initial point, from scratch, then qualitative approach is required. But at the PhD level, if we will see nowadays, then the combination of both qualitative as well as quantitative approach is best to suit our objective, best to suit our goal. Then I'm going for what is qualitative, what is quantitative, I will explain. These are some decisions, or you can say the evaluation problems where we can use such type of thing. If we are going to locate the new plant, if we are going to assess the raw material, if we are going to purchase the equipment, assessing the quality of suppliers, we are evaluating different type of projects. If we are going to select for the selection of new raw material, then we can use this type of approach. Means these are the real problems in which the decisions are required. Without decision, we cannot give the solution of such type of problems. Then what is the decision? Please note down this point. I am started from optimization, then parametric optimization. In parametric optimization, there are two types of things, multi-objective and multi-attribute. Then I have switches for multi-attribute. In multi-attribute, which type of things? Means qualitative or quantitative. For both decision is required, that's why I have switches to decision theory. Each and every term is connected with optimization. And how we will analyze it? Because decision analysis looks at the paradigm in which an individual decision maker contemplates a choice of action in an uncertain environment. Because nowadays marketplace is very uncertain. Whether we are going to analyze a particular product or whether we are going to develop a new product. In both the cases, if you will see, the decision is required. If you will consider a case of around 90s, and Bajaj Chetak, Bajaj Classic, you are the scooters, LML Vespa, such products were manufactured by the different companies, Bajaj, LML, etc. But customer don't know the specifications of that product. बजाज चेतक में क्या स्पेसिफिकेशंस है, क्या उसका सीसी है इंजन का, और उसके अंदर फीचर्स क्या है, फंक्शन क्या है, टायर की रेडियस कितनी है, क्या है, you don't know. In spite of that, a customer was waiting at that time in 90s at least for 20 or 30 days to purchase the product. It was the general waiting time. और कब था ये waiting time? When customer is not aware about the specifications of that product, and company is producing the part, company is producing the product and launching it to the market, and in spite of that, the people are going to purchase with a waiting time. But nowadays, the market scenario, the market orientation is completely reverse. Nowadays, it is required to produce a product as per the need of the customer. Otherwise, nobody will purchase your product. आप कौन सा प्रोडक्ट बनाने जा रहे हो, कौन सा प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च करने जा रहे हो, it is required to explore the specifications of that product before 1 or 2 years. आपने देखा होगा, there are new cars, new products are coming into the market, new mobile phones, and features of those phones company explore before 6 or 7 months. इसमें ये specifications है, इसमें ये specifications है, then customer will make up a mind to purchase that. So completely market orientation is reversed nowadays. So for this, decision theory is very required. If you are not going to take the right decision, then survival of your company in the dynamic market is very tough. Definitely your company will fail in the market. Decision theory helps in identify the options with the expected value, and this expected value will depend on the probability of the obtaining a possible value. Means option क्या है आपके पास? On that basis, we will calculate the expected value. Expected value in what? In the eyes of the customer, in the eyes of the people who is going to purchase that product. So this is the role of decision theory. Theory of decision analysis have a set of pre-specified parameters. Ultimately, again, I have highlighted here in blue color set of pre-specified parameters. Again, parameters are required. How you will collect the parameters? If we are, I'm taking one case. If we are going to purchase a mobile at the exclusive showroom of Samsung or any other company, that is the exclusive showroom. So there will be a CCTV camera. Through CCTV camera, they are watching us. तो क्या सोचते हैं? We are thinking he is observing us कि कहीं हम कोई चीज इसकी चोरी ना कर लें, इसलिए कैमरा हमारे ऊपर लगाया हुआ है, CCTV कैमरा. But no, if we are going, that may be, but it is not the function at the exclusive showroom. Exclusive showroom पर अगर हम जा रहे हैं तो उस कैमरे का मीनिंग ये नहीं है कि वो हमें चोरी को देख रहा है कि हम कोई सामान न चुरा लें. No. If I am going to purchase that particular mobile and 2 or 3 friends are with me at that showroom, then we will discuss. हम उस मोबाइल को हाथ में लेंगे, हम उसको डिस्कस करेंगे. ओके, इसके कॉर्नर्स अगर थोड़े शार्प ना होते, राउंड होते, तो इससे हमारी जींस की पॉकेट खराब ना होती. दूसरा पॉइंट देखते हैं हम उसमें. पहले हम उसकी डिस्प्ले स्क्रीन आती थी 4 इंच, फिर 5 इंच, 6 इंच, नाउ 7 इंच. तो उनको किस तरीके से आइडिया आ रहा है कि हाउ विल टेक द डिसीजन? दैट इज द पार्ट ऑफ द एक्सपेक्टेड वैल्यू, दैट इज द पार्ट ऑफ द सेट ऑफ प्री स्पेसिफाइड पैरामीटर्स. तो उसमें क्या है, वो हमारी सारी ओपिनियंस को कैप्चर कर रहे हैं. They are capturing each and every point of our discussion, what we are discussing at that platform, at that show. If size of screen is high, then we can easily read the PDF. Okay. Then company monitoring team, that recording of that CCTV camera after 15 days, 20 days will send to the Samsung or that particular company of that exclusive showroom. And a monitoring team, a designing team will analyze each and every value which you have discussed at the time of purchase. And that will give the foundation, that will give the platform to the monitoring team for the new product development. As we are thinking, corners should be round, and we will analyze, we will see in the next coming product, things are coming to the market, corners are round. How? कौन जाके उनको बता के आया कि ऐसा करना है? That is the meaning, that is the part of the decision theory. They are taking the expected values from the customers, they are collecting the set of pre-specified parameters, and according to that, they are taking the decision in launching the new product in the coming years or coming days. In such type of things, decision making is playing very important role. This is the subjective interpretation, because our talking, our views, all are subjective in nature. Decision theory is what? Decision theory is descriptive. Means when it shows how people take decision. It is prescriptive also. When it tells people how they should take decision. These are very important lines. So I have put it here. Which one is important? Which one is important? Descriptive or prescriptive? Descriptive theme was using in 90s, but nowadays prescriptive theme under decision theory is using, which tells us how they should take decision. खाली decision लेना ही नहीं है. How? Means so that we can success. This methodology can be categorized as a model that will belong to the linear, that may belong to the non-linear category, finite or infinite characteristics in order to analyze the solution based on the different interactive parameters. Now finally we have switches, if you are getting my points, from optimization to the parametric optimization, then parametric optimization to multi-attribute, then multi-attribute to decision theory. For decision theory, what is required? Decision is based on what? Is पर based the decision. Anybody will tell me decision is based on what? इस पे based होना चाहिए decision. Decision is based on data. Decision is based on data. It means for any type of optimization, for any type of decision making, data is required. And data may be in the form of different, like graph, experiments, images, or other analyzing tools. Because data are individual units of information. Means how will we collect the information? We will collect the information on the basis of the data. A datum describes a single quality, or you can say the quantity of some object of phenomena. It means data analysis is required. Nowadays, we are using a subject, we are going through a subject, data analytics. That is the part of it. That is the reason most of the jobs are switching towards data analytics. A credible amount of the data which allow for a substantial analysis. And how we can analyze the raw data to ask the different type of questions which are related with the results, mean, and are significant for the analysis. Means type of data, type of formatting, and which type of analysis. All things are required. Directly we cannot analyze the data. For the analysis of data, it is required to know the type of the data. Means how? Which type of data we have, which type of formatting we are going for.
Sir, it's not audible.
Hello? Slide is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It is very important term, data versus information. You see this table. What is data and what is information? Data is depicts the raw facts of things. and the exact meaning of data is the information. Exact meaning of data is the information. It comprises the numbers and text, but if we process the data, that will give the information. Data is generally say input for the any system to analyze. But if we will talk about the result of the system analysis after processing, that is the information. For example, number of suppliers is the data, but address of supplier is the information. You please focus on these figures. In general, data and information is same, but if we summarize the data or we analyze the data, then it will give the information. We focus here below and green color. There is a scattered picture in data, if you will see. But if we will systematically arrange the green and blue things, means the data, then it will give us some information as a flow. So data and information both are related to each other, or you can say both are same, but only the difference is processing. Only the difference is processing. That is the reason this is the demand of data analytics nowadays, because market is changing, the thinking of company is changing. Data type, as we have discussed the qualitative research and quantitative research. Quantitative data means comprises of the data which represent the numbers, counting, measurements, and other numerical values. But qualitative data is gives the quantified comprises of the facts, what are the trends, what are the patterns, and different characteristics of an individual. It will give you the meaning of your information. It will give the meaning of your data towards information, which is the data statement. So this is the data type. What are the data source? Each and every person knows, because all things are connected now. Nowadays, not a single system is disconnected. That is the part of the geographic information system. All are what? All are connected with the optimization. Without optimization, without decision theory, each and everything is failed. Analysis is the part, data is the part, other carriers are the part, different type of applications, those we are using in our mobiles, all are connected to the geographical information system, as you will see in the Google map. What is that? That is also the data source. Google map is processing the data, and after processing we are getting the information on which road, on which highway we should move, we should run. It is also the optimization, because if there is a hurdle in the road in after 10 or 20 kilometers, it will show. Then we can switch our route, we can change our route. This is the meaning of GIS, graphical information system, which is in the form of the discrete and continuous. Quantitative analysis, it can be choose a level of analysis that is appropriate for your research. Means whether we are going for the discrete, whether we are going for the continuous. It will depend on the type of the statistical analysis which is appropriate as per your research program. It is also very important part, quantitative level of analysis, because at the MTech level or at PhD level, each and every model, each and every problem is based on this type of thing, as we are discussing today in this lecture. Quantitative level of analysis may be the univariate, it may be the bivariate, it may be the multivariate. It will depend on the type of the problem which you have considered at your research level. Univariate means single variable assumptions. Bivariate, two variables simultaneously. And multivariate when we are using the different type of variables. Generally, at the PhD level, we use the multivariate analysis under the head of quantitative level of analysis. Because there are a number of variables, there are a number of factors for the analysis purpose. Then we will consider the different type of multivariates and different type of subvariates, and finally all are connected to each other. You can see the complexity of this. Each and every variable is connected with the subvariable, as well as the sub variables are mutually interconnected in order to find out the goal. Only then we can give the robust value. Otherwise, no. On the basis of this diagram, on the basis of this interconnection diagram, I will show you the real calculation by using the fuzzy set theory. Means how we are analyzing the interconnected parameters. These are the things univariate. I'm going through it fast because it is not so new. Describe a case in terms of the distribution parameters like machining type, means single variable. Machining type. किस type की machine है? Turning है, milling है, drilling है. Which type of machine we are taking? And such type of picturization, such type of plotting we can do. Bivariate means two variables simultaneously. Means turning and milling operations machining time. We will discuss the machining time for turning, we will discuss the machining time of milling. In this way, we can go for the correlation test. And then line of best fit we can use. Similarly, multivariate. But in multivariate, we will go for the regression analysis. We will go for the regression analysis because variables are high, more than 2. In this way, you will see each and every factor have a different value. And again, a line use here multivariate analysis, multivariable analysis. I will show you by taking the case of fuzzy set theory. Characteristics of good data. Characteristics of good data. What is the characteristics? It should be freedom from bias. It should be freedom from confounding. It should be control the extraneous variable and statistical precision also. And what are these? The meaning of bias, confounding, and other things. Bias means when observations favor some individual. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Confounding, when the effects of two or more variables cannot be separated. Why? Due to the third variable involvement. We can directly understand the meaning of confounding with the help of cause and effect diagram. If we are two friends, it is the best example of confounding in terms of the variable. If we are two friends, but after 1 month, we are not a good friend. How? There may be something in between as a third person. There may be in between as a third entity. Without third entity involvement, whether in terms of the person, whether in terms of the other thing, confounding may not be. That is same as the variable. One variable is supporting to the another variable, but at a particular instant, variables are separated. Same meaning the extraneous variable means it has an effect on the dependent variable or on the part of the regression analysis. Now I am going for the decision precision and accuracy. But very fast I will go through this slide and then I will discuss the full set theory. Precise, you know the meaning. Sharply defined. Accurate, you know the meaning. Truthful and correct. Truthful and correct. This was a very good picture of shooting. Accurate, precise. Not accurate, precise means we are not matching with the goal. Accurate but not precise. Precise hai nahi kuch. In this, each and everything is right. But we will focus on the term accuracy. We will focus on the term of precise. But in our analysis, both the terms are required. If we will talk about 90s, then companies was focusing whether on the effective system or efficient system. That a particular company is working on effectiveness or that company is working on the efficiency. But nowadays, what is going on? For any particular industry should focus on the efficient and effective performance system. Both terms are required at a time nowadays. आपने आजकल किसी भी स्टेटमेंट में ये नहीं देखा होगा कि our system is working efficiently. Always you will listen, our system is working efficiently and effectively. Because due to the market competitiveness, it is required to produce the part in a time limit. It means efficiency is required. And on another side, it is required to reduce the waste. It means effectiveness is also required. ऐसा भी नहीं है कि हम पार्ट टाइम की बना रहे हैं बट वी आर गोइंग फॉर हाई वेस्ट, इट इज रॉन्ग because the margin is very less, competition is very less. It will meet the practice as an alternative choice. Alternative are the different choices, different set of alternatives we can measure, we can assume as a finite ranging from several to hundreds we can use, and different type of attributes or parameters. There is another term for attribute, for parameter, which is the attribute. So for development of any model, these two terms are required, attribute and alternative. Now we have crisped the things of parametric optimization, decision theory, as well as the multi-attribute. Now we are switching on decision weights, means how we will analyze it by using fuzzy set theory. Please focus here. It is the alternative things as we have discussed, means these are the number of choices, and C1, C2, C3, these are the parameters, you can say the criteria, you can say the attributes. And W1, W2, W3 are the weights in respect of these alternatives. And these A1, A12, these are the expected values as I have discussed in the previous class. Expected values. On the basis of expected values, we will calculate the weight as we have discussed in the composite in next slide. And then on the basis of this weight, we will go for the decision matrix. So decision theory we have discussed, subjective quantitative data we have discussed, the parametric optimization, you can say the multi-factor decision making model by the coupling theory or graph theory, which provides the analytic approach towards goal achievement. Graph theory is what? Graph theory is related with the different type of relationship among the considered variables. That is the graph theory. Manufacturing process. If there is, this slide will give you the exploration about application of this parametric optimization. In manufacturing process, material assessment, case study based assessment, any material selection for manufacturing, any supplier selection, location selection, any strategy selection. For each type of selection, for each type of decision making, we can use this parametric optimization. Till now, I have completed the theoretical or conceptual background of parametric optimization. Now I am going for the application of fuzzy set theory by using the chain extent analysis based AHP approach. I hope till now you have observed the things. Is it clear? Yes? Okay. Fuzzy set theory is what? Fuzzy set theory is based on the fuzzy logic. And fuzzy logic, it is given by Lothfitchade in 1965. And he has applied this concept by using the fuzzy logic concept. And fuzzy logic is the extension of the crisp set. And crisp set is the Boolean algebra as we have discussed in our 12th level. Fuzzy logic has been extended to handle the concept of partial truth, not the complete truth. Partial truth by using the linguistic variables. Why fuzzy thinking is needed? Information about a particular engineering problem may be incomplete, it may be precise, it may be fragmentary, it may be unreliable, vague. So to consider such type of uncertainties, fuzzy number is required. Means a problem that are categorized by little information are said to be complex and which is having the high degree of uncertainty. To remove this high degree of uncertainty, the fuzzy number, fuzzy set theory is required. Means how we can encounter the uncertainty? If it is not specific, if it is having too many choices, if it is not knowing something, then we will use the concept of fuzzy set theory. For example, I shall operate soon. I shall operate it soon. It is vague in nature. I shall operate it in few minutes. It is fuzzy in nature. I shall operate it within 2 minutes. It is uncertain in nature. All these type of things can be handled by using a range of points, by considering the range of variables. The difference in the fuzzy number and the crisp number is only that if I am saying for this particular thing number is 2. Best example is that in our fan regulators, if you will observe there are 1 to 5 numbers. 1 पर चलाओ तो 1 पर उसकी नॉब करो, then fan will rotate, move slow. Then 2 some fast, 3 more fast, and 5 full value. But if I am interested to run the fan speed, you have to control the fan speed in between 4 and 5. I am not interested in 4, I am not interested in 5, I am interested in the speed of the fan in between 4 and 5. Then that type of things cannot be handled by using the crisp number, by using the crisp set. If you will see, nowadays there is a gradual increase sign at the regulator of the fan, and there is a gradually decrease sign at the regulator. Gradually वो बढ़ता जाएगा, gradually कम होता जाएगा. Means there is not a restriction of the numbers of the point. There is something in between. For that, fuzzy logic is required. Fuzzy logic enables a computer to interpret a linguistic statement such as, if the washing machine is half full, then use less water. Nowadays, we are using the fully automatic machines at our homes. उसमें वो water भी अपने आप लेता है, speed भी अपने आप ले लेता है. How? If you will see at the control panel of the fully automatic machine, you will see there fuzzy control. ऐसा लिखा हुआ है वहाँ, fuzzy control. उसका यही meaning है. If you have not focused, then you please focus today when you will go to your home. जो fully automatic machine है, उनके control panel पर लिखा है fuzzy logic और fuzzy control. That is the meaning of this. Means automatically that will choose in what range, in what ratio water is required. So fuzzy logic is again a set of mathematical principles. It gives the degree of membership, degree of truthness. You see it. This is the Boolean logic. Means till 0, each and everything is white, and after that, each and everything is black. It means for white and black combination, we can use 0 and 1 values. Whether it is 0, whether it is 1. Same as in multi-valued logics. But what will be in fuzzy set? In fuzzy set, fuzzy logic, fuzzy set, there will be the calibrated vagueness on the basis of degree of membership. In crisp set theory, whether we are using 1 or 0, या तो कोई चीज इन सिस्टम में है या नहीं. But in case of the fuzzy set theory, we are going for the degree of membership. This is the basic difference in crisp set theory and fuzzy set theory. This is the basic difference in crisp set theory and fuzzy set theory. On one side 0 or 1, and another side degree of membership. Classical set theory, if you will see the function belonging to the values 0 and 1 in a subset of A. You see here, subset of a function which is belonging to 0 and value. That is the classical set theory जो हम पहले यूज करते थे. Previous washing machines थी, उनमें अगर आप देखो there was a control panel 1 speed, 2 speed, 3 speed, 4 speed. But in fully automatic machine, there is not a numbering system. There is a gradual increase or decrease sign. Because in previously washing machines, the control units was based on the classical set theory. But in fully automatic machine, it is based on the fuzzy set theory. Membership, which is very essential to know the meaning of the degree of membership. Means There is something 0, there is another thing 1, but there is a degree of membership mu AX in between 0 and 1. This is the important part. We should focus on it. So for that, we can move here. It is required to know the meaning of fuzzy set theory, isn't it? So as a boundary representation, we can go for the universe of discourse. Discourse is what? Means whether that particular element is belonging to in that set or not. If you will see here, there is a subset A and there are two parameters A and B. A is completely belonging to the boundary, but B is not completely belonging to the boundary. It means we cannot say B is a member. Only set A is a complete member, so that for the A, we will set the value 1 and for B, we will set the value 0. Because that is completely out from the boundary of that universe of discourse. Same as when we are using the fuzzy set theory, then C, you will see here, then C is belonging at the boundary. It means it is neither inside, neither outside, it is at the boundary level. When it is at the boundary level, it means it is having some degree of membership. That degree of membership will give you the some value in between 0 and 1. It means you will see nowadays, as I have taken already example of the fully automatic washing machine, you will see there is a system of fuzzy control, not a numbering system, because numbering system was based on the crisp numbers, crisp sets. That is the benefit of it, fuzzy set theory. How we will calculate the degree of membership and what is the concept of degree of membership? You can realize it from this table. For example, if there is army selection, soldier selections, and there are the different names: Rohit, Sohit, Rohit, Manohit to Naresh. And this is the height of different persons in centimeters. And if we are considering the condition for that selection, that is the 180 centimeter. If the height of a person is 180 centimeter, then I will select that person into the army. Otherwise, I will reject the person from this selection. It means the 179 and 181, these are the near about at lower level and upper level of that 180 centimeter. 181 centimeter height person is selected in that army process. However, 179 centimeter height person is rejected from that selection. It means the selection and rejection criteria is only based on the 2 centimeter. It is based on the 1 centimeter only. It means by using the crisp set theory, we are saying that if 179 centimeter is equal to the 152 centimeter, it means there is not a meaning of 20 centimeter in between for the selection process, isn't it? In this way, to avoid such type of things, we have moved from crisp theory to the fuzzy set theory. In this, if you will see, then 181 is giving the 1 value and another is giving the 0 value. But if you will use the degree of membership, it will give the some value in person of the height. We are saying that we will select the 180 centimeter person, but we will not reject a person which is having the 179 centimeter height. Isn't it? It is 0.78. It is 0.78. It is what? 0.78. 0.78 is the degree of membership for that person which is having the 179 centimeter height. We cannot say it is rejected. It is the sum value which is 0.78. It is not equal to the 152 centimeter. Isn't it? It is not equal to the 152 centimeter. You are getting my point? You are getting my point? Because based on the fuzzy set theory, it is based on the fuzzy set theory which is given to the value of degree of membership. So this is the benefit of fuzzy set system. Again, we can analyze it here. It is again a value structure you can see here. It is a selection of tall men on the basis of fuzzy and crisp set, as we have discussed in this table also. There is a parameter of 180 centimeter, it is a parameter of 180 centimeter, but we cannot reject the person which is having the height of 179 centimeter. That is the benefit of degree of membership. This is the again second interpretation for the degree of membership by casing the case of age limit. If we are saying a person is having the 20 years age comes under the category of young, and from 20 to 50 years age the person is coming under the category of mature, and after 50 that person is coming in the category of old. But we cannot say a person is having the age of 19 years is young and the person is having the age of 21 is mature. That is the differentiation only 1 year. In the same fashion, if 49 years person is mature, then we cannot say the person is having the age of 51 years is old. That is very wrong. That was the drawback of the crisp set. That was the drawback of crisp set theory. To overcome this type of theory, the concept of degree of membership under the fuzzy set theory is to be used. This is the fuzzy expert system in which we will see the fuzzy inference. By casing the case of fuzzy inference, we can go for the fuzzification and diffusification in order to measure the numerical values of considered variables. We can use it. In the same fashion, by using the MATLAB, we can develop the ruler-based for the fuzzy set theory based on the membership function and FIS editor, fuzzy interface system editor. In both type of situations, a high complex system whose behaviors are not well can be easily understood. I am taking here one example by taking the case of triangular fuzzy numbers. Triangular fuzzy numbers is a generalization, or you can say that it is a real number which is used to analyze the particular condition. Fuzzy numbers are categorized based on their type of membership function. In general, that may be the singleton, that may be the triangular, that may be the trapezoidal, that may be the Bell-shaped. Which type of numbers we are using more? Triangular fuzzy numbers, because it will give the lower value, higher value, and in between values. You see here, it is a singleton, it is a trapezoidal, it is a trapezoidal triangular fuzzy number, and it is a Bell-shaped. Mostly we are using this triangular fuzzy numbers ABC because A1 is the minimum value and A2 is the maximum value and AMM is the mean value, or you can say the medium value for a particular target value. In this case, we can consider some things at the lower end and some things at the upper end. So in this fuzzy set theory, I am taking the case of triangular fuzzy numbers. It is the triangular fuzzy number in which A and C is the range of fuzziness, or you can say the level of fuzziness. It is given in order to analyze the particular model. This is the mu x value. Mu x value gives the degree of membership, which will depend on the ABC values, lower, medium, and high values. And how we will calculate it, degree of membership? I will show you by taking the one example. These are the different properties of fuzzy numbers. I am exploring one property of additive property of this fuzzy number. If M1 is fuzzy number, M2 is fuzzy number. If you are seeing here, there is a sign, a special sign of this number. It will give the notation of fuzziness, means it is a fuzzy number. For example, M1 is having 3 range, A1, B1, C1, and M2 is having another range from A2 to C2, A to B to C2. In this way, if we are going for addition, then we will add the lower value with the lower value and upper value with the upper value, and same as in between middle value with the middle value of the another. But you focus on this inverse property. It is very important. In inverse property, we are not going to directly inverse the A, B, C values. We are inversing here last values first, then second, then third. These are the different properties of triangular fuzzy numbers. If you are going for the analysis for triangular fuzzy number, then these properties are very useful and you should know. This is a model as we have discussed with you as a hierarchical type structure, which I have shown you as a composite index, in which the different type of perspective you can consider, as you will see here, C1, C2, C3, the availability perspective, economic perspective, or you are going for any machining perspective, anything you can consider here. And there are different sub attributes or sub variables C11, C12, C13 in this way. Any type of selections you can take, whether that is going for the plant selection, whether that is going for the material selection. These are the alternatives A and B, C. This is can also be mapped with the strategic selection also. In this way, different type of selections we can consider. Here we are going for this material selection. We are going by using the three options A, B, C on the basis of these. It is the constant optimization or unconstant optimization. Because we are considering here a limit of 9 parameters, it means it is a constant parameters. Constant optimization means there is a boundary, there is a limit. When there is a limit, that is a constant. If there is not a limit, anything we are going to optimize, that is unconstant. That's why I have focused on the constant optimization, which is required. Now I am showing you the algorithm of chain extent analysis. It is given by chain by considering the case of extent values or synthetic values. You please be focused here because it is the numerical part, and on the basis of this I will show you the numerical example. So you please be attentive here. Okay. Here you will see x is equal to x1, x2, x3. These are the elements of a set x, which is the objective set, and other values u1, u2, un, that is the goal set. And on the basis of this object set and goal set, we will analyze the different extent values, which is denoted by m. The meaning of mg1 means for one goal set, for second goal set, for third goal set. Ultimately, we will going for the m extent analysis. This is the meaning of this term. What are the steps to calculate this? There are different steps, like step 1. In this step, value of fuzzy synthetic degree with respect to the ith object is defined. Please be focused here. This is the formula for Fi. A decision matrix, as I have shown you, is having the different type of attribute, different type of parameters against the different type of alternatives. And for those alternatives, we are going to calculate the expected values in terms of A11, A12, A13, etc. In the same fashion here, these Fi values will give you the expected values, and under chain extent analysis, we are seeing this term as a fuzzy synthetic degree. The value of fuzzy synthetic degree. What is fuzzy synthetic degree? Fuzzy synthetic degree is denoted here by symbol F, and it is based on the goal set. It is also based on the object set. Goal set and object set will both depend on the I and j values, and I and j values will depend on the different type of choice and the attributes, or you can say the different type of parameters. As well as your matrix will increase, the value of I and j will increase, which is very common thing as a 12th level practice. This is the main formula, and how we will calculate it under the head of fuzziness. For that, it is required to determine first goal set value. This goal set value will depend on the ABC values. ABC values are what? Lower values, upper values, and higher values for each triangular fuzzy number. By changing the j values, ABC, this triangular fuzzy number values will change, and ultimately the value of MGI will change. Ultimately, it will change. So we have how we will use this triangular fuzzy number with the lower limit values. For that, we can calculate this MGI. After this MGI value, we will take the inverse of it. This inverse, you will see the values of A, B, C, as we have discussed in the inverse property. When the fuzzy number M is having A, B, C 3 values, the inverse will be 1 upon C, 1 upon B, and 1 upon A. In the same fashion, if we are going for the summation of this, it will be 1 upon C summation, 1 upon B summation, 1 upon A summation. There is nothing new here. All are based on the conceptual things as we have discussed in the last talk. Is it clear to you? Because on the basis of this formula, we will calculate the fuzzy synthetic degree. In step 2, we will calculate the degree of possibility of fuzzy numbers. It will depend on the M2 and M1. Both are the triangular fuzzy numbers. And these triangular fuzzy numbers having the degree of membership, and which degree of membership we will consider which is having the minimum value. Another evaluation case, if M2 is greater than M1, then degree of possibility is 1. Means in this case, the middle value of second triangular fuzzy number B2 is greater than B1. Means if we are going to compare of two values M1 and M2, then we will focus only on in between values, middle values. If one middle value is greater than another middle value, like you will see here M2 M1, then it is B2 greater than B1. If we are going for M1 M2, then the value of B1 should be greater than B2. Then directly we can put the degree of possibility 1. If it is not, then we will use this formula of degree of membership. In degree of membership, we will calculate A1, C2, B2, C2 by putting the value. Directly we will get the value. How we will get the value, I will explain. It is the interaction between M1 and M2. For single variable we have discussed. Here we are taking the two variables. That's why two fuzzy numbers M1 and M2. So this is the mapping of numbers. Now we will calculate the degree of possibility for a convex set, means the minimum value of fuzzy numbers. And after getting the minimum value for each set of element, we will calculate the weight factor WP. After getting the weight factor, we will normalize it. And finally the synthetic value we will obtain. This was the algorithm of chain extent analysis, the normalization head. In this, if you have any problem, then you can ask me, because now I am going for the implementation of this. Means how we will implement it. So that was the model. This is the scale, fuzzy number scale, means for equally important values. And if you are going for the experimental work, then for a single factor, 3 observations you can take. Both ways are here. That's why I am telling you the meaning of observation and the meaning of triangular fuzzy numbers. For example, if you are calculating 3 observations for a one factor, so you can put all 3 values as allied. Minimum value, then higher, then higher. Then minimum value, then higher, then higher. Means different type of means, but it is required to go for the 3 experiments for a single variable at least. Here C1, C2, C3 means 3 perspectives we have considered: machine and availabilities and economical perspective, C1, C2, C3, and these values are equal values, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, you will see, because there is not a comparison, not analysis of self. C1 का C1 से कोई analysis नहीं, C1 का C2 से analysis है. The values of C1, C2 are this. These values you can use by taking this scale, or otherwise you can calculate and you can observe by the experimentation work, the observed values. But it is required to take the 3 values for one cell, not a single value, because we are using triangular fuzzy number. If we are using the trapezoidal fuzzy number, then we will use the 4 values for a single combination. Then you will calculate the weight values, weight factor, eigenvalues. And on these eigenvalues, you can say which perspective is more useful for your material selection. In this, you will see the highest value is 0.4381. You can say the C2 perspective, economical perspective for this material selection is high. Now, what I am doing, I am analyzing this model. I am analyzing this model because there are C1, C2, C3, and these are the C11, C12, C3. I am analyzing this model based on the experimentation or based on the scale that I am using here under the head of fuzzy set theory. Isn't it? I am using it. Our goal is what? Our goal is material selection. So first table we have prepared for the perspectives and this weight values. But how we have calculated these values? It is the important part. These weight values we have calculated on the basis of this formulation. You will see here MGI. Means first we will go to calculate the values of A, B, C. And ये values कहाँ हैं? All values are given here. These are the values of A, B, C. These are the value of A, B, C. I am showing you one calculation. You please listen it and watch very carefully because all other experimentation values, all other calculation values for fuzzy synthetic are same and repetitive. I will explain you one table and for other table I will go directly. So please listen it and watch it. It will help you a lot in your research work. There are three perspectives, it means three F values. F1, F2, F3 by using the first formula of step 1. And what is this? From where these values is coming? 2.2, 3 and 4. In this formula you will see this value MGI means for j is equal to 1 to m. For what? When I is equal to 1 and I is equal to 1, it means we are considering the case of C is equal to 1. It means for this you will sum up the minimum values, lower values by considering the properties of fuzzy numbers. 1 plus 0.6 plus 0.6, it will give you that 2.2. In the same fashion for middle value, in the same fashion for upper value. Directly you have find out it. And how you will find out this inverse? You will see here this. It is both I is equal to 1 to n and j is equal to 1 to n. It means you will move in the row and you will also move in the column and then we'll take the inverse. I am showing you the calculation of it here also. You please add the all values, all minimum values, lower values of this table. 1 plus 0.6 plus 0.6 plus 0.6 plus 1 plus 1.5 plus 0.6 plus 0.4 plus 1. Because you are moving in the higher value row wise and you are also moving for the j value column wise. And sum of all these, if you will see 1 plus 0.6 plus 0.6 plus 0.6 plus 1.5 plus 0.6 plus 0.4 plus 1, it is the 7.3. This value 7.3. And why it is at the last? Due to the inverse property. Due to the inverse property. Due to the inverse property, it is at the last. If triangular fuzzy number is ABC, then inverse of it will be 1 upon C, 1 upon B, and 1 upon A. And after that, by multiplying it, you will determine this fuzzy synthetic value for one, you can say for first perspective. Is it clear? In the same fashion, we will go for the F2, we will go for the F3. We will go for the second value and third value. After calculating these synthetic values, we will determine the degree of possibilities by using the step number 2. Now I am going for this step number 2, degree of possibility, which is denoted by V. How we will calculate? We will compare here middle values V1 and V2. Middle values. First, I am comparing F1 and F2 synthetic value. You can assume it here M1 and M2, but as a fuzzy synthetic value as a formulation, I am using F1 greater than F2. And now we will compare the middle values of F1 and F2. You will see here F1 value is less. It means directly I cannot put 1. For that I will use the formula. These are the values of A1, B1, C1. These are the values of A2, B2, C2. This is the formula, and formula is what? Formula is this. By using this formula only, by putting the values of A1 C2 B1 A1 and B2 C2, directly we can determine the value of this synthetic, which is 0.7376. You can calculate it. Similarly, F1 and F3. Now you will compare this F1 and F3. Here you will see the middle values of F1 is higher than the middle values of F3. It means our first condition is fulfilled. Then directly I can put 1 here. Directly I can put 1 here. Similarly, F2 greater than F1. Similarly, for F2 greater than F3, you will compare here. It is satisfying the first condition, then we can directly put 1 here. And other values we can calculate by using the formula. So in this way, we can calculate the fuzzy synthetic value. Now, how we will calculate the weights? To calculate these weights, I will apply the concept of minimum values. This is step 3. Means for each category, I will select the minimum value based on the fuzzy set numbers. In this, I will select the first value, 0.7376. This value, for second, both are 1, then I will consider 1. .7376 and for this it is the minimum value. There is some problem in that. It means this is the one value. I will select this. One value I will select this and one value. These are the 3 values. This will give you this weight vector. And then I will normalize it. And then finally, this weight value will come. This is the calculation of this weight factor by using the chain extent analysis. You can understand the weight value of this calculation. Here, matrix size is 3 by 3. If your matrix size is 8 by 8, then it is required to make the program on Excel or in C or in Python, MATLAB, as well as you have ease. Weight value you have calculated. Similarly, as one diagram I have shown you in the composite slide. One is related to the another, and all sub attributes are interconnected, and all sub attributes and all attributes, all alternatives are dependent on the considered parameters. So you can understand the meaning of interconnectivity. Now I am considering the first case machining perspective. It is having the 3 sub values. For these sub values, I will go through the experimentation or I will go through the scale calculation, and similarly I will again repeat the chain extent analysis in order to calculate the weight values. Similarly, for C2 and C3, I will calculate the weight values. I am not going for this weight value calculation because the things are repetitive, and I have already explained you one table. In the same fashion, you will calculate the eigenvalue, the eigenvector for each table. But here you will see, for each and every aspects you will consider. You cannot leave and you cannot left the single variable, single parameter. When you have completed this, then you will calculate with respect to the C11. Now, here I am considering the alternatives. Because A is also dependent on the C11. A is also dependent on the C12 and C13. You can see how many matrices you will formulate. It will give a very bulky mathematical work. And again, you will calculate the eigenvalues for each combination. Similarly for C21, similarly for C31, C32, C33, and ultimately at the final aggregate planning with respect to C1. फिर क्या करेंगे आप? In a one go, individual calculation. I am showing here this diagram to you. This individually, first one table, second table, third table, fourth table. Then on the basis of these alternatives with respect to C11, then one table, C12, then C13, because all are interconnected. We cannot leave. In some papers, some research papers, you will see they are not going for the assessment of individuals, but that is wrong. It is required for the best result. You should go for each and every combination. It is not a good practice to avoid the calculation work, because definitely it will affect your result. In the same fashion, this C11, we have compiled the result for these alternatives, material A, B, C, with respect to C11, with respect to C12, C13. Here, this is the value of C11, C12, C13. We have directly considered this value from this table. From this, these are the values of C11, C12, C3. This table 0.31, 0.41, 0.27 directly we have used and put it here. These values, you will see these values, and these C11 values we have considered from this table 0.4, 0.11, 0.3, because we have calculated. With ABC values with respect to C11. With respect to C11, we have calculated the values this. So this table, from this table, this vector we have considered, and then summarize the results with respect to the first perspective. This is the weight value. Similarly, we have summarized the result for C2. Similarly, we have summarized the result for C3. This is not the calculation experimentation work. It is the considered observations summary result. Means aggregation of the weights. In the same fashion, we will consider for C2 and C3. And finally, we will give the alternate values, alternate weights for C1, C2, and C3. Isn't it? You will see here the highest value is the for A. Then in such way we can say it is the highest. It is having the highest value and highest selection material A. We can say the eigenvalue for this vector is very high. It means we can go for this selection of material A. The selection of material A will help you on the basis of given constant values, and in this way we can plot the different results with respect to C11. These are the three options: material A, material B, material C. Here I have written A1, A2, A3, but it is A, B, C, A, B, and C. You can see here. This is the different color combination, and we can see the importance and the weight values of these alternatives with respect to the considered parameters. Ultimately, as a whole, what we have learned and what we have done in this problem, parametric optimization. Parametrically, we have considered and we have applied the fuzzy set theory in order to analyze the developed model, hierarchical model, as I have shown you. Again, finally, on the basis of last table, we can go for the weight values of material ABC, which is having the high value for the selection of our purpose. And our purpose is what? Our purpose is based on the parameters, as we have considered 9 parameters in this model. And finally, we can say the material selection for material. We can say the material A is selected for our problem. If it is not available, then we will go for the C. And if C is not available, then we should go for the B. This will be the selection procedure of our materials. In this way, we can go this. These are the references. Thank you. I hope you have learned something from this lecture, and definitely you will implement this concept of fuzzy set theory in your research program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for this beautiful session. Any participant have any query? Can raise your hand also, and you can put your question in the chat box also.
If any participants have some different doubts, then you can contact to the Yadmendra ji. He will send my email. You can directly contact to me on email also. Definitely, I will clear your all doubts related to this lecture.
Sir, there is one question.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, you can ask.
Sir, one question in the chat box, sir. Sir, is optimal decision and binomial theorem में कोई relation है?
किसमें? Optimal decision and
binomial theorem.
And binomial decision, yes. Binomial decision, if we are talking, then we are going to use the crisp set. Both are the optimization. There is a relation. Because I have categorized the optimization in two ways. Whether we are using the crisp set theory or whether we are using the fuzzy set theory. If we are going for the binomial things, then definitely we are going for the crisp sets. It has a relation with the optimization. It is the part of optimization ultimately, we can say. Isn't it?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the session. And I hope everybody is enjoyed session. And any query, if they have, they can post to sir email address at NIT Jalandhar. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you again.
Thank you once again to the organizers of this FDP on research methodologies to choose this important topic as a need of all of us. And I pay my thanks to the organizers, especially to the Yadvendra ji and Balvinder sir. Thank you so much to invite.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you please suggest some reading material for this topic, like
Yes.
binomial and decision making?
Yes. If directly you will search the fuzzy AHP, chain extent analysis, it is a well popular algorithm. आप Google में directly type करें chain extent analysis fuzzy AHP, then you will see there are a lot of PDF, many PDF related to this. But you only read the chain extent analysis because there are some based on the alpha cut, there are some on the another methods. Directly you can search for this.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Very informative session, sir.
Thank you. Okay, can I leave?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Dear participants, welcome in the second session of this faculty development program on research methodology. I, Yadvinder Pal Sharma, on the behalf of MRS PTU, welcome today's expert, Professor Dr. Butta Singh Sidhu. Before the session, let me introduce Professor Butta Singh Sidhu.